or something about you that has already been mentioned?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, we're 7 albums in now.
Okay.
And you tend to have to do a lot of interviews, and you generally don't get generally don't get people saying, tell me something about you that you haven't told everybody else yet. And I think if there is something about me that I probably haven't said before, it's probably part of what I started talking about recently as we prepared for the concert that's happening at the end of the month. And that was I publicly mentioned for the first time that there was a time I wanted to change my name. There was a time, because people know me for saying my name in full, for wearing my scarves.
Yes.
But there was actually a time I was ashamed of being African, and I didn't want to. And I actually tried the name Stephen Byron for a while.
How long did that last?
Not very long,
Okay.
because once you knew that my mother may, she would torture you by remote control. I mean, my parents were in Nigeria, but African parents, they have this ability to control your mind from distance, and it's not even witchcraft.
And that's good parenting,
So I thought about Shola Olatundo Olariwaju, and I just thought, no, we can't do that, man.
Yeah.
So, but it was quite a difficult time, and the reason I rejected everything I was because I'd faced so much abuse and adversity.
Yes.
And funny, years later I discovered the boys who were the ringleaders, they themselves were Africans.
Wow.
But I discovered their fathers were Africans, their mothers were West Indians, but the fathers were absent. So they were angry about something. And just took it out on me. I mean, they used to put bananas on my table, call me an effing African, and all this. I was in church, but I was just distraught. So it's funny how many of our kids come to church and you don't know what's going on with them. And sometimes we'll scold them for behaving a certain way, but you don't know that actually they're playing out something that's difficult that's going on with them.
Yes.
So that's probably one of the things. I'll try and think of something more interesting.
As we go on, and I've always known that sometimes when people are mean or when they act out towards you, it's not even about you. It's always about something they are experiencing internally.
Well, but when you're going through it, it's difficult for you to
understand that. I know.
You just feel. I mean, you feel the rejection of the person, the attack of the person, and they try and demean you publicly, and you just feel embarrassed. You just want to protect yourself, and you're not looking, thinking, man, this guy really needs counseling. Maybe he had a problem with his childhood. Maybe he was a bit. No, I want to punch your nose.
So how did you survive that stage in your life? How did you overcome it?
Mental toughness, and it's something that us Africans have that we don't give ourselves credit for. It's a degree of toughness that comes with adversity, and if you want to get theological about it, and the writer talks about your adversity brewing in you or growing in you, tenaciousness, and ultimately leads to hope. But actually, going through something difficult, it breeds a degree of tenacity that you can't get anywhere else. And for me, that was part of it, because my upbringing, even though I was a middle class kid, went to private schools, it was quite tough. I mean, when you think about my parents. And then the other thing, God was just kind, because I could have, the things I've been through, I could have lost my mind.
I know.
I could have. I mean, I have cousins who, there's a cousin of mine in particular who I think about, who end up in prison for murder. We were we grew up together. We were in the same church. He was a bright kid, but just the things he went through led him that way. So I think one, it's mental toughness. Two, just God was kind.
I understand that. And I know that when you moved to the UK, you lived with some relations, and
oh my Lord,
it was tough for you during that time as well. Yeah, and how did they relate to you now that you've accomplished, you're doing well? How did they relate to you now? Did they go like, oh, I know that guy, he lived with me? Did they go like that?
Well, I don't. Thankfully, some of them I don't get to see now. Actually, there was one of them. Oh my Lord, it's interesting. It's funny. No one's ever asked me this question. There's one of them who had seen me on TV.
All right.
And somehow I forget how he tracked me down.
All right.
And when I saw him, of course, I'm still. And here's the thing: when you're growing up,
yes,
the people you relate to, when you see them, first you revert to what it was. So if you were 10-year-old, the first emotions you feel are the 10-year-old emotions, not the 30-something-year-old that you are, or the 40-something-year-old that you are. And so I saw him, and I was like, wow! And I just remembered. I almost became as a child that I was. And he says to me, oh, Muyiwa, great to see you, la da 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 da. And he says, oh, you're doing well. Then he talks to me about because I'd shared publicly then the stories about my father being assassinated and that, and he was like, oh, you shouldn't say that the people who killed him are the ones that killed him. Like, those are the facts.
He wanted to max it up or something.
No, he wanted me to cover it up because he was of the faith of those people.
Right.
Then he says to me, he says, oh, I really need your help. So it comes to my house, and of course, and he says he wants to loan some money.
Okay.
And I give him some money, and I've never seen him again.
It's interesting, isn't it?
I've never seen him again.
Yeah,
and there's another, on the other side, there was, when I was at school, I remember, sixth form.
Yeah.
I wasn't very cool at school.
Okay.
I wasn't really a popular kid. Like always, like I said, the effing African. There was this young lady. She wasn't even the nice girl in class. She was like one of those frumpy girls who she was looking 40 when we were 16, and she was having a party and was inviting everyone in the class.
Yeah.
So I hadn't got an invitation, so I went to her and said, oh, am I invited? She looked me up, looked me down. No.
Oh no.
I felt so embarrassed.
I know, book you.
Years later, 20-something years later, our concert at the O2.
Yeah.
I'm signing CDs, the security all over the place. I looked to the back of the queue.
Yeah.
She was queuing up
for your signature.
She's bought a CD and she's bought a ticket for £25. I said, Lord Father,
I know.
This is the same person who invited me to a party. Now she's buying my concert ticket.
I know. I bet it was a funny and fulfilling moment for you.
It was. To be honest, I wish I was a Christian in that moment. I wish I looked and thought, oh man, praise God. For a moment I thought,
Did you sign it for her though?
Of course I did. She was paying for it.
Okay, all right, so you did. Okay, let us get out of the way.
She bought the CD.
That's really, really interesting. I heard something from my pastor this past Sunday. He said, when you're being celebrated in the midst of your friends, the joy is there, but it's not as great as when you're being celebrated in the midst of your enemies.
Now, but here's the thing, though. For most of us, we want to get away from them, and it's a difficult thing.
It is.
To know that these people around you don't want your best in mind, and you want to get away from them.
Yeah.
But theologically, he prepares a table before me in the presence of my enemies.
Yes.
He anoints my head with all my cup runneth over. So sometimes, I just wonder, because we spend so much time, Father, kill them, kill them, kill them, kill them, kill them, kill them. Which I can understand, because the pain of their machinations. How would you want to, in your right mind, be around someone that is trying to steal your husband and is spreading all sorts of lies? You know,
That is true.
that's the last thing you want is them around. You want to rip their heart out and get them, and then lay hands on them. And as a matter of fact, not even lay hands on them. You want them to go to hell. You know, but to be secure enough in yourself and be confident enough in God, even if the man is acting crazy.
Yes.
To say, you know what, God, keep them there.
Yeah.
They will see you restore this marriage and us renew our vows.
Yes.
They will all come and eat the rice.
Yes.
And get stomachache off their own evil.
That is true, and that feeling is the most satisfying feeling ever. I think really it is, and I know most of the time you're on this side of the seat doing the interviewing, but today the tables have turned. I'm not asking you the questions, so please don't make any mistake by asking me any questions because I have nothing to say. Trust me. Let's stick to you because you're the one with the stories. Yeah. So yeah, and so what were your aspirations as a young Muyiwa growing up? Did you think that you would be a presenter, a songwriter, and a musician? Did you think you would land on this career path?
No. The hilarious thing was the first job I wanted to do.
Yes.
Was I wanted to be. I dreamt of being a footballer, like most kids do, but you know that was just nonsense because I can't play football. Then I wanted to be a farmer.
Okay.
No. Before that, I wanted to be a safari hunter.
Oh, was it?
Because I thought it was a job. I saw these men who would go out. They would kill an elephant, and I mean, of course, that's not politically correct these days. That's, you know, they'll kill an elephant or a lion and then pose with it.
Yes.
You know, I loved the khaki shorts, the hat, the gun.
Yeah.
I thought that was a job. That's what I wanted to do.
Oh, okay.
I'm telling you, I wanted to do that.
Okay.
And then I came to my senses, and then I wanted to be a farmer.
All right.
Because my mother was a radio broadcaster, and my father was an academician. They retired and become farmers.
Okay.
And I wanted to follow them into that. And it wasn't until much later, because I fell into broadcasting.
All right.
But the passion for music was always there.
Okay.
But it was never, being a Nigerian, it was never a serious thing of, you know, what we're going to do, music. So it just happened. I fell into broadcasting. It just happened. You know, the music thing just happened. The TV thing.
Okay.
So here we are.
Okay. All right. So at what age did you start testing the waters into broadcasting and music and think that this could be for me? This is what I want to do.
You know, the truth is, broadcasting only started 14 years ago.
Okay.
When I premiere, like I said, I fell into it.
Okay.
Basically, what happened was I used to work at Sony Music.
All right.
I used to look after artists like Mariah Carey, Bob Dylan, Aerosmith, and the likes. And but the plan was to do my own music. I did a music degree.
Okay.
You know, so I could do my own music.
All right.
So I finished that. Sony picked me up. I work in international promotions.
Okay.
And after a while, I realized this wasn't working. And it's an interesting thing because people see where we are now. Not that we've achieved much, but you know, got this massive concert coming up with 4,000 people. At the end of the month, we've done others. Hammersmith Apollo with 5,000 people, and people see that. But actually, what I wanted to do was pop music.
Okay.
But what my mother hadn't told me was that before I was born, she'd made a covenant with God. We have two older sisters.
All right.
And she'd made a covenant. She said she wanted a boy.
Okay.
So she has this experience where she's dreaming and a hand is given her a boy. And she wants to grab the boy, and they take the boy back and say, you have to give him back. So she says, yes, it's so cool. She takes me, she gets pregnant. It's a boy. But I didn't know the details of that agreement. Okay. And I wish she told me, because it would save me time from running around trying to do pop music.
So how many siblings do you have? Two?
I have No, four.
Four.
Two
right.
older sisters,
Okay.
then me, then my younger brother.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all of us are Jesus freaks. My two older sisters are preachers. My younger brother is one of the big wig pastors in the Redeemed Christian Church of God.
Oh, lovely.
You know, and we all do music.
Okay.
You know, so anyhow, the quest to do music really didn't come till late, because I was at Sony. I was trying to do my own music. I was doing pop stuff, and I had a sponsor in New York who was putting in $40,000 a year for 4 years into my project. Now imagine, I am working in the record company, so I know the people.
Yes.
I have money being popped into the project,
Yes.
so money's not. But the project didn't fly, and it was later on we understood that. Don't play with covenants.
Yeah, it wasn't for you, so it wasn't going to work out no matter what.
My mother was just blocking the road.
So you wanted to do pop. Did you have any songs in the pop culture that?
Oh yeah,
you did. Oh wow.
Yeah, let me tell you that one of our first big songs. My best friend Eddie Martin and his name is his artist's name or producer's name is Quincy Jones. So he's done people like Chris Brown, Neo, Fantasia. So we did a song together. It goes, when birds fly, doesn't think that they just when birds fly. I'm trying to remember the lyrics. The birds fly. The birds fly. Did they fly to a better place? Yeah, I had a whole album ready.
Oh wow!
A whole album ready, man.
Oh wow! It's a shame we can't get to hear those songs.
Well,
yeah.
Who knows?
Oh wow! Okay, let's keep our fingers crossed then. Who said who knows? Yeah. So Muyiwa, you are a big deal. Like you are beyond big.
That's very kind. Now she if you're listening at home, she's calling me fat. That's okay. I'm not taking it personal.
If I said fat, I meant PH, not F.
Oh,
that's slick. Yeah, and I know your success didn't happen overnight, and you've been through so much. But how does it feel? Is this surreal? Even as of now, that with all this accomplishment, do you feel like, oh wow, is this for real? Is this really happening with me?
It is. Okay. You do get moments, and that's the challenge with people who achieve things. You have to find space to enjoy the moment yourself.
Yeah.
It was said of Michael Jackson that he was constantly trying to beat his last success.
Okay.
So he never, those who were closest to him said Michael was always, that's one of the things that pushed him. He never really stopped to enjoy, which is a sad thing.
Yeah,
I remember a few years back after we'd sold out the O2, I remember going there for an event, and I walked into the venue. First I walked from the back through the VIP area, and I was like, wow, is this what this place is like? I walked into the venue, I looked at it, I was like, wow, this is magnificent. Then I thought, hold on, you sold out this place. And it dawned on me that I didn't enjoy the experience. I was just going. And as an independent artist, it's difficult to enjoy it because like this concert that's coming now, I'm paying for the concert. I'm dealing with the promotions. I'm dealing with the creatives. So you're having to do everything. So you're pulled here and there. So you're constantly under pressure. So it's difficult sometimes to enjoy it. But I've tried to like with this one. I went to the venue days ago just to try and take it in before the rush of the day. So it is surreal because you do think, is this really happening? And then sometimes when you don't think, is this really happening, you're just busy keeping on. So you do really need moments to stop and reflect
and take it all in.
But people don't really appreciate that when you're in it, it's difficult to stop and reflect.
I know. You feel like you have to keep going and keep giving and being better. And then because part of the challenge is when you don't, you'll hear people say things like, he hasn't done anything for a while. He's really gone down. No.
You know, so of course, what you do is for God.
Yeah.
It's for the ministry. So that's not supposed to affect you. But we are flesh. You know, we're humans, and I call it the noise of my imperfections. You have to find a way to dampen that noise and bring it down, so that things like that don't
get to you.
Yeah,
I know. All right, we're listening to Muyiwa Lariwajo on Star Radio, and if you want to text in, you want to suggest something or comment or just talk to him, you can do so on 07539661744. So let's get cracking. I know you've won so many awards, so many of them. First of all, I want to know how you celebrate your wins, and also where you keep these awards.
You know, the funny thing is though, I'm actually one person. I don't really do award ceremony. I say I don't do award ceremony in as much as I don't. Typically, what happens with award ceremonies, except for certain ones like the Grammys or that, what happens is you decide, okay, I want to honor some people, and so you say, okay, I'll nominate people and get people to, so those people will get their people to vote.
Okay.
But I'm just not accustomed to going on Facebook, hey, please vote for me. I need your vote. You know, I mean, it's not. I don't.
You just chill and relax.
So consequently, when an award does come and I get it, it's usually quite a shock.
Okay.
Right. So the ones I do have, the truth of the matter is, where are they? They're in boxes at home.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought you would display them proudly. You know.
They're in boxes. Maybe when I move into the new house, maybe we might do it. But I mean, there's one at the top of the bookshelf. It's laying down. There's one on top of the fridge. It's in a box. There's the others are in a drawer. So it's,
Or at least they are home, safely waiting to be displayed. Well, so let's talk about River Songs. I know it's a powerful gospel tool in today's time. How did River Songs start, and how did the name come about, River Songs?
River Songs really in its essence is just a group of people, friends who they're all professionals.
Okay.
So some of the guys sing with Stevie Wonder, people with Emily Sandy, you know, people like that.
Okay.
How it started with the first album, Restoration, from where you get, and we will say, our God is good. Remember, I was in Sony, and those days I was still wanting to do pop music. I wasn't, gospel wasn't my thing. So I remember saying to my best friend Eddie, again, Kwesi Jones, Kwesi Yako Martin, and he said, let's do something and offer our gifts to God. So we got all our friends together who were in the music industry. So Andrew Smith, who was then guitarist for Westlife, Steve Turner, who was then MD for Kylie Minogue, and so all these people together. And we called it River Songs, based on the prophet's experience of wading in the water. It went to his ankle, to his knee. Our prayer was this worship experience that people would have once they listen to the songs, it would slowly creep up on them. Slowly then get into it until they're submerged. So that's where the name came from.
Okay, and how many people consist of River Songs now?
At any time,
yes.
Well, we could have 20 people on stage.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Yeah. So at the concert on the 28th, we are going to have 12. Yeah, there'll probably be about 14 of us on stage.
All right, and so 20 or 14, are they permanent members or they?
No, people are. They were permanent members, but we're not in it all the time.
Oh, right.
All together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So because someone might be traveling with some. I mean, I remember we were in Wales doing a concert in Wales, and one of my babies' phone rang, and she's like, "It's Steve." Like, what do you mean? Because we'd done a tour with Stevie Wonder. She said, it's Stevie. Stevie was on the phone.
Right.
Oh, you know, I want you to come to Korea, I think it was, to come and that was it.
Oh,
she had to leave.
Just leave.
And her dad, fortunately, her dad was with her.
Okay.
Dad took her straight to the airport.
And then she
straight on to Korea. Because, you know,
okay, yeah, so people...
Stevie was paid more.
I can imagine. That's good to know. Yeah, so do you write your own songs, or how do
Absolutely.
you write your own songs?
Right,
okay.
Right. All of our stuff.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, and that's just that's where I get to vent, get to express some of what I'm going through, what I've been through. I mean, on the new album, Ikoile, I go to Africa through and through. Actually, most of the 90%. All of the album I recorded in Ghana.
All right, okay.
Yeah. So when you listen to Ikoile, that's Ghanaian musicians, and then singers from South Africa, from Nigeria, and all the rest.
All right.
But I write and pour out my experiences. There's one song called Modimo, which I wrote from the experience of there's a gentleman called Dr. Taya Diemi of New Wine Church, who passed away not long ago. We was very close to him, and everyone was upside down. Everyone was in turmoil. How did this happen? Why did this happen? God, we were praying. And so I started from that experience and the emotions I felt. I started to write. There are no mistakes you made. All things you made. Modimo Ribo Kawena, which is in Soto from South Africa. Look what God has done. He's done all things well. You know. So even in our pain, we feel He's done nothing. Yeah. So that's why I write stuff.
All right. So your inspiration comes from your own life experiences, and you pour it out into your music.
Absolutely. And sometimes I just dive straight into the Psalms and just take some of David's experiences and lift it and put it in my song.
What does Ikoile mean?
Ikoile means Lagos, my home.
Lagos, my home.
Yeah,
Okay.
And that whole song is about the experience of a young man who's taken into captivity, Nehemiah, and you know he's doing the work with the king, but needs to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem, and then that's the whole story.
All right. So Ikoile is your new album, which is out, and you've named this concert Ikoile as well.
Yeah.
All right. And when did Ikoile come out?
Ikoile's been out for about a year now.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Yeah. So put it out and just left it to do its thing. And the idea is hopefully when people come on the 28th. Some of the songs they'll be used to, you know, they can sing along with us. And the great thing for me is, and also the stressful thing is, it's not just going to be a concert, it's going to be a very visual live show. So we've got a lot of things going on screens for you, a lot of action happening around the building.
I'm going to be there, you know.
Well, I hope you enjoy that. Now I said that.
I'm going to be there. Yeah, so how often do you hold these concerts, and how many countries have you been to so far?
Well, our own concerts like this one in the UK, really we can only do it once a year, because you're talking, I mean, this Ikoile concert so far has costed me just over £50,000.
Oh, you don't say?
Now I'm not I don't have a congregation to go to say, you know, let's raise offering. Hammersmith Apollo cost me £83,000. If I say if I'd reconnected with my uncle who has an oil well in Nigeria, then you know,
your issues to be solved. No wahala.
You know, uncle, yeah, let's go. But because what really limits it is the financial constraint.
All right.
If we had the funding, we'll do a lot more. But in terms of countries, I mean, I've been a few countries, done South Africa, done Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya. We did a massive tour in the States, which was hugely successful for us. So yeah, we've been a few places.
Been around the world.
Been around the world.
Yeah. You're listening
That's not a praise and worship song, by the way.
We'll sing that one here, but that one won't be on Ikoile. So you're listening to Muyiwa Lariwaju. Time check is 3 minutes to the top of the hour 8. The station is Star Radio UK, and the show is Star Personality Profile with Marie Anaba Addo, and it's brought to you by Karen, courtesy of Harmony.